So recently I've been really feeling like playing a shooter game, so I decided to replay one of the greatest FPS games of all time. Titanfall 2. In this game you play as a pilot. You use your fancy pilot gear to parkour your way around the map, run on the walls, dash through your enemies at supersonic speeds, go invisible, and many more. You also control these like big war robots called Titans, and use them to shred your enemies and other Titan users. And no, I don't mean these guys. It's also the
predecessor
of the popular game Apex Legends. You might be thinking, what does this have to do with making games and shifting realities? Well, in Titanfall 2 there's a mission with some sort of time anomaly going on that causes you to go back and forth in time and see different versions of the area that you're in. You use this mechanic to solve puzzles and parkour your way around the map. So, I was playing this mission and it hit me. What if we made an entire game based on that mechanic? You would be able to change your surrounding area by the press of a button, and you would use that mechanic to solve puzzles and stuff. I mean, how hard could it be to make a game like that? What the hell? Sorry, I just had to. So initially, I wanted the game to be about time traveling, just like Titanfall 2. You would go back and forth in time to make your way around the map and solve puzzles. But I ran into an issue with that. If I wanted to make it like that, I needed all my assets to have past and future forms that are matching each other. For example, if I had a desk somewhere, I would need to have a future form of that has some extra details, like some overgrown plants around it, or like half of it's being broken or something. And it would be really hard to find matching assets like that. And if you don't know already, I have no idea how to use Blender or make assets. So I decided to completely ditch the time shifting idea and replace it with reality shifting. In this way, I could make two completely unrelated worlds using different assets. So I decided to go with a medieval and a sci-fi world. And if that seems familiar, well, that's pretty much what Split Fiction has done. But I swear I had no idea that was the case back then. Please don't sue me. Anyways, after figuring out what I'm supposed to do, it was finally time to actually do it.
Just do it!
So I opened Unity, created a new project, and boom! Beam! Boom! Player! After building a simple character controller, it was finally time to build the maps and the reality shift ability. There were a few ways to do this that I could think of, one of them being changing scenes. I could make the worlds in different scenes and change the scene whenever I use the reality shift ability and go back and forth between them. But that would mean when the player reality shifts, it would take some time to load each scene. And I wanted the shifting to be instantaneous and seamless, just like in Titanfall 2. So, instead of doing it like that, I built both worlds on top of each other and toggled their active status whenever I shift reality. Is this a bad idea and actual game devs out there are laughing at me right now? Probably. Is this the best solution that I could think of? Yes. So long as it works, right? Anyways, I spent some time tweaking these free modular assets I found on Unity's asset store and building the world. I also had to be really careful not to leave any blind spots so that the player could get stuck in, and if I left any blind spots, I put up a barrier around them so that the player can't reality shift there. I also added some particle effects and some camera distortion to make it look cooler whenever the player shifts reality. And after finishing all that, it was finally time to test it. The moment of the truth. Oops, wrong reality.
You never see it coming.
Let's try this one more time. What's this? A subscribe button? Hit that bad boy real quick. Okay, for real this time. Give me a second.
You never see it coming.
Okay, after fixing some issues, it works perfectly now. Now that the reality shift was done, it was time to add some puzzle elements to the game. After working my last two brain cells overtime, I came up with this idea. Intertwined items. These are special items that kinda exist between the two worlds, and reacting with them causes some stuff to change in both worlds. Let me demonstrate. Oh no, a laser barrier. Boom, reality shift. Oh no, the bridge is up. Boom, reality shift. Okay, but now the door is closed. Whatever should I do? Oh, what's this? A lever? I know in fact that's a cube and not a lever, but I couldn't find any suitable assets, so bear with me with this one. I wonder what it does. Okay, the door is open now, but the bridge is not there anymore. I wonder. Boom! Reality shift. Oh wow, now we got a bridge in this world. And one final reality shift and we're out. Sorry guys, this is just the best I could come up with. After finishing the intertwined items, I decided to add some enemies into the game. But there is no combat in the game, so how are you supposed to defeat the enemies? That's the neat part, you don't. These enemies only exist in one of the worlds, and in the other one, they turn into statues. They follow you around in the sci-fi world, and if they catch you, it's game over. You have to use this mechanic to move the enemies around and move them on some pressure plates or dump them in some traps or something. After finishing the enemy, I added 2 new rooms with completely original and mind-blowing puzzles in them, and thought of a really cool idea. This clock. As you can see, there are some weird symbols on it, so what gives? Well, you have to solve the puzzles in these 2 rooms to get 2 symbols from each of them. Then you have to use this clock to decipher those symbols and enter the code in this padlock to open the door and access the next area. Which I'm gonna build later. At this point you would think everything's going smoothly, right? Wrong. There were multiple issues. First of all, puzzle games is for big brain people, and making puzzle games demands even bigger brains. And I have no brain, so it was really hard for me to think of any cool puzzles. But it's alright, I could always think of some new puzzles later on. Well, that's not the only issue. As you noticed before, I have some missing assets, hence the cube. But that's no big deal either, I could always ask my friend to make some assets. Can I see my family now? But it doesn't end there. Memory leak. That's the second time this is happening to me. I went through all my code and there was no issue. After searching for a while, I found the culprits. Last time it was caused by Unity's terrain tool, and this time it was caused by this asset. So there has to be something that I'm doing wrong, so to all the people out there that know what they're doing, please help. At this point, the game is in a worse state than my face on a Monday morning. I mean, the initial idea was cool, but the execution lacks a lot. Maybe I should just stop raw dogging it and actually learn how to make games? Nah. Anyways, I'll try fixing these issues and improving the game, and I'll keep you guys updated. And if you've come this far, please consider hitting that subscribe button, cause believe me, it helps me a lot. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.